3 years ago, I was drowning. Not in stuff, though my apartment was a mess, but in decisions. What to wear, what to eat, what to work on, where to start. I was spending 2 hours every Sunday just trying to figure out my week. And by Wednesday, I'd already lost control again. Then I found 8 habits that changed everything. My mornings became effortless, my space stayed clean without me thinking about it, and I stopped feeling like I was constantly behind. So, if you're tired of feeling overwhelmed by your own life, this video is for you.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Jasmine and today we're gonna talk about something that has truly transformed my life. Minimalism. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but minimalism isn't about living in a white box with only 3 personal items. It's not about deprivation or a specific aesthetic you have to maintain for the internet. Real minimalism is about making space for things that matter by removing what doesn't. So today I'm going to break down every single habit and teach you how you can implement it into your own life. Alright, let's dive in. The first habit that keeps my life simple is what I call the 1-minute rule. This means if something takes less than a minute to do, I do it immediately. This sounds almost too simple to matter, but hear me out. Think about how much mental clutter we carry around from simple unfinished tasks, like hanging up your coat or putting away your coffee mug into the dishwasher, responding to a quick text, or opening that piece of mail. Each one of these is a tiny open loop in your brain. And if we let those things accumulate, it feels like we have 1,000 things on our to-do list, even though individually they are not really significant. But here's the thing. Our brains don't distinguish between putting away your coffee mug and finishing a big project. They are just uncompleted tasks that take up our mental space. By adopting the 1-minute rule, I managed to eliminate about 70% of the tasks that used to pile up. My space stays tidier naturally. My mental load is lighter, and I'm not constantly having those little reminders of things I haven't done. The key is about being honest to yourself of which tasks actually just take 1 minute, because we often tend to overestimate. I want you to try this rule for 1 week and look at how your space feels and also how your mental load feels. And I promise you, you will be surprised. Habit number 2 is my digital sunset routine. This habit has been crucial to maintain simplicity in a much more digital and overstimulating world. And here's what this habit looks like. Every day at 8 p.m. I start winding down my digital life. I close all unnecessary browser tabs. I close all social media apps and don't look at them for the rest of the day. I clear my desktop of random files and I put my notifications on silent. And all of this isn't about being perfect, because some nights I will still use my phone or my computer even after 8 p.m. But having this boundary creates a strict line between work life and personal life. And it helps me with a much more natural transition. It signals to my brain that the productive day is done and I can completely relax. What I've noticed, if I skip this routine, the day kind of bleeds into the night. You're checking emails in the middle of the night, you're scrolling on TikTok for hours, and your brain never actually gets the chance to power down. So the digital sunset routine creates closure. It's like putting a period on the end of the day's sentence. And when you start the next day, you're not just picking up from the chaos from the previous day. You're starting from a clean state. And one thing that really helps with this is having a physical checklist for this routine. All in all, it takes about 10 minutes and it's one of my favorite parts of the day. And if you are someone that feels like you are constantly on, then I cannot recommend you this habit enough. It brings back boundaries in a world that wants your attention 24/7. Habit number 3 is my weekly reset. And this happens every Sunday. I dedicate this whole day to resetting my environment and also planning for the week ahead. This includes cleaning my main living spaces, doing laundry, prepping meals, planning the week ahead, and also reviewing my goals. I know a whole day dedicated to this seems like a lot, but here's what it prevents. It prevents decision fatigue during the week. If Sunday comes around and I haven't done my reset routine, the whole week feels chaotic. And when my week feels chaotic, my brain is also chaotic and I can't get anything done. This weekly reset is like paying yourself in time and energy beforehand. You are investing a few hours every Sunday to make your life much more calm, much more simple, and much more enjoyable. Habit number 4 is the main minimalism principle. 1 in, 1 out. This is very simple. For every new item you buy, you will remove 1 item you already have in your home. For example, if you buy a new t-shirt, you can gift one of your old t-shirts to a friend or donate it. Or if you buy a new kitchen gadget, get rid of 1 old kitchen gadget that you haven't used in over 6 months. This habit has completely transformed my relationship with consuming and shopping. It makes me incredibly intentional about what I bring into my space, because I know it comes with a cost. Not just the price tag, the money you pay for it, but the price of letting something else go for it instead. What's interesting about this is how it changes up your decision making. You will start to ask yourself better questions. Do I love this item enough to give up something else of it instead? Is this genuinely better than the things that I already own? And am I buying this because I really need it, or because I'm maybe just bored? More often than not, when I apply this filter, I don't make the purchase. And that saves me money, saves me space, and it saves me from the clutter that is happening when we just accumulate stuff and never remove stuff from our home. If you struggle with having impulse buys and too much clutter in your home, start exactly here. 1 in, 1 out. It's simple, it's measurable, and it works. Habit number 5 is structuring my morning intentionally. This sets the tone for everything that follows this day. My morning routine is non-negotiable. I wake up at the same time every day and I don't check my phone first thing in the morning. I have a simple breakfast. I usually move my body in the morning. That could be some stretching exercises or a small walk through the city. Nothing big. And I spend at least 10 minutes in silence, whether that is with meditation, with journaling, or just laying in bed. The reason this matters so much for minimalism is that the morning sets your nervous system's baseline for the day. If you wake up and immediately check your phone, check your emails, check social media, your brain instantly goes into reactive mode. You're responding to everyone else's priorities before you even look at your own. When you protect your morning, you stay in proactive mode. You are choosing how you spend your energy instead of getting it pulled in thousands of directions. My morning routine is also pretty simple. I'm not doing an hour of yoga, I'm not going for a run, I don't do a skincare routine, because that's not realistic for me, and it's also not realistic for most people. But the consistency is what matters. My brain knows what to expect every morning. There's no decision fatigue about what I'm doing first when I wake up in the morning. The routine is the routine, and it creates this calm foundation that carries me through the day. And if your mornings feel chaotic, maybe just start with one simple thing. Maybe it's not checking your phone in the first 30 minutes after you wake up. Or maybe it's drinking 1 glass of water every morning. And then you can build from there. Because intentional mornings are really a game changer. Habit number 6 is probably the most challenging habit, but it's definitely worth it. It's about eliminating the default yes from my vocabulary. This means when someone asks me to do something like attending an event or starting a project, my automatic response is no longer just an automatic yes. It's a let me check my calendar and I will get back to you. This simple pause is everything. It gives me time to check in with myself and to look if it's something that actually aligns with what I'm feeling right now and my energy levels. Whether I have the capacity or it's something that I really enjoy doing or if it's an obligation, it's always the same. The truth is, most of us are trained to be agreeable. We say yes because we don't want to disappoint people, or we want to be helpful, or maybe we haven't really thought about it at all. This is when we end up overwhelmed, stressed, and also resentful. And eliminating this default yes doesn't mean you are unhelpful or selfish. It means you are intentional. Because some things are definitely worth saying yes to, but some things simply aren't. And we need the space to look at what actually deserves our yes. And I'll be honest, this is hard. People aren't always happy when you set boundaries. But what I've found is that the people that actually matter will respect it. If you are someone that often says yes to things, even though you're not really sure if you want to go, start by making the simple pause. Before you answer, breathe in, breathe out, and let the question firstly sink in. Because you don't owe anyone an immediate yes. Give yourself time to consider, to decline, and to protect your time. Habit number 7 is regular digital decluttering. And in 2026, this might be much more important than physical decluttering. Once a month, I do a full digital audit. I go through my phone and delete all the apps that I don't use anymore. I go through my photos and delete all the photos that I don't need keeping in my phone. I delete all the notes, all the emails, everything that doesn't serve me anymore. And I do the exact same on my computer. I clear out my downloads ordner and organize all my files. And also do a backup of my files. I review my subscription and cancel everything that I don't use. Because our digital life accumulates clutter just like our physical one. But the point is, it's invisible, so we don't notice it until it's overwhelming. 3,000 unread emails, hundreds of apps on your phone that you don't use, and subscriptions you forgot you had. All of this digital clutter creates stress, even if we're not consciously aware of it. Every single notification is a tiny interruption. Every overflowing folder is a decision you keep postponing. When I started those monthly digital declutters, I was really shocked about what I found. Like apps I completely forgot that I had them. And loads of files of projects that have long been completed and I don't need them anymore. Clearing all of this out created a sense of lightness. My phone felt easier to navigate and my computer ran faster. And I wasn't getting pinged by things that didn't matter. And the best part is, it doesn't need that much time. I do it for 1 hour once a month. And this simple thing keeps my digital life from spiraling into chaos. And if you haven't done this in a while, I recommend you take up your time, maybe just this week, for 1 hour and declutter your digital space. I promise you, you will feel so much better. And finally, habit number 8, the one that ties everything together: regular reflection. Every Sunday evening, as part of my weekly reset, I take time for myself. I take time to reflect on the past week and plan the next one. But more importantly, every quarter I do a deeper type of this reflection, where I assess if my life is aligned with my values and my goals. This is the habit that makes minimalism sustainable. Because here's the thing, minimalism isn't a destination. It's not like you declutter once and then you're done forever. Because life keeps happening and stuff will accumulate. This regular reflection keeps you honest. It's where you ask yourself the hard questions. Spending my time on what matters. Spending my money on what matters. Is my space supporting me or stressing me out? And are my daily habits actually serving me? In my quarterly reflections, I look at some key areas of my life. This is my physical environment, my mental environment and space, my relationships, my commitments, my personal growth, and also my life and work balance. For each area, I ask myself, what is actually working and where do I need improvement? And if I need improvement, what exactly needs to change? And how do I want to feel when this change will arrive? And sometimes the answers can be uncomfortable. Maybe I've let get my space more cluttered, or I said yes to things that I didn't want to say yes to. Maybe I spent too much time on things that didn't align with my priorities. But this discomfort is valuable because it leads us to our course correction. I can't fix what I can't acknowledge. And those check-ins with me make sure that I don't just sleepwalk through life. My weekly reflections are much simpler. I just look at what worked this week, what didn't, and where I want to keep my focus next week. But that consistency keeps me on track. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. Build in regular time to reflect. It doesn't have to be elaborate. 10 minutes a week, an hour a quarter. Just time to pause and assess. That's the habit that makes all the other habits stick. So there you have it. 8 minimalist habits that keep my life simple and more enjoyable for 2026. And remember, minimalism isn't about perfection. It's a practice. Some weeks those habits will flow better and some weeks it's harder to maintain them. But that's completely normal. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to be intentional. And if you found this video helpful, I would be really happy about a thumbs up and a subscription to my channel. Also make sure to send this video to your friends who struggle to keep a simple life. Let me know in the comments below what is the habit that you want to try first. Until then, I will see you in the next video. Bye!